Hello, hello, hello. Let's get live and talking. I know because I'm streaming from the laptop right now, so I'm waiting until it's picked up everywhere. It takes a little hot second, but that's okay. I think we're live. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Hello, 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 everyone. This is the first time I'm actually streaming live from the laptop in this setting, in a solo setting. And this episode will operate also as a podcast episode later on, after somewhere after today. Oh, I have so much catching up and so much talking to do. First things first, a lot of people have seen my post on social media about having to go to the emergency vet with my dog. And I'll just share a little bit of the background behind around that before I go into what it actually made me realize and what feelings it resulted in the day afterwards. So, the one of our oldest dogs, Ursa, she's a big, big old Malamute. I think she's like 15 or something. Um, she started vomiting. First, she vomited. If you have dogs, if you're on a farm, you know this is the norm. This is nothing out of extraordinary. She probably ate too much horse poopy, chicken poopy, some animal. Who even knows at this point, right? That's fair. Um, but shortly after, a few hours after that, after clearly the whole inside of her stomach was out. Oh no, 1 second. I'm sorry. I just caught a foxtail. I saw it hanging between my dog's foot, and we all know how we feel about foxtails. So that was a little interruption. Team No Delusion, rich and hydrated. Let's go. And a few hours after that, she kept puking, but a lot of blood would come out. So, also nothing to directly worry about. Sometimes if the animals eat too much bone or an actual, like, dead animal, it can happen that it's too rough on their throat. It is what it is. I stayed up with her. I slept in the living room, and it was probably the worst sleep I've had in a long time, because every time my dog would get stressed, all the other dogs would get stressed, and there was like this mass chaos going on in the house. So clearly no one is sleeping at that point, and that's absolutely okay. Like, I'll happily stay up with my puppy, with my grandma dog. She's like the oldest. And I felt bad for her because she would get this, like, you could tell she would get really nervous that she made a mess in the house, which she doesn't have from us. This is nothing that is as a consequence of any behavior we had. Apparently, she had this since being a puppy. So I would pet her, I would sit outside with her for the fresh air. And I was really hoping that the next day it would be significantly better, but it wasn't. And now we're kind of in the, okay, if we wake up in the morning, we need to start contacting vets and start to do rounds, because this is getting too much. She would drink, she would hydrate. Clearly she wouldn't make any poopies because there's nothing in her body anymore. So in the morning when it was still happening, so the second night, I'm going in 2 nights right now, and my dog is still sick, blood everywhere. I'm up all night with her again, just getting these short moments of sleep, of like 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there. So in the morning I started calling around, but my normal vet is on vacation away. All good, needs to happen. So I needed to find somewhere else. So I ended up going to another vet that I had never been at yet, but everyone recommended him, all fine. And I couldn't go there until like in the afternoon. It's also like a hot second to drive there, which brought me to the point, and I'm gonna be going all over the place here, and I'm promise it'll make sense. The vet situation with the dog showed me that while living so remote, it definitely has like a cool aspect. Is like it has a look at me being an outlaw, look at me being, the one that can do the hard stuff. And in regards to my animals, I'm fucking over this, because the distance that is required, especially, so we don't have an emergency vet in the a night vet in the county. We have to go to the next county over. There's no large animal vet at all in this whole fucking county. So if you want to go, if you have such a problem with your horses, your cattle, anything, you would have to load them up and drive for several hours one way, which obviously is a very critical situation to be dealing with in some situations. Alas, we already know, husband and I have cleared this out. Yes, we will be moving. Yes, we're looking for new property. That's just a little side ramble in the event that happened with the dog. And in the stop eating my chair, little baby. Thank you. Figure out your life. So went to the vet. They did all sorts of tests on her. They did blood work, physical exam. Stop eating my chair. Physical exam, and they had to end up doing x-rays on her because they just couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. That's so stressful, like not knowing what's wrong with your pet, and clearly seeing that your pet isn't doing well. That was the absolute fucking worst. But two things that it has taught me: she got an antibiotic injection. I don't know the official terms. Like, I have them written down. Obviously, I have the instruction, but she got an antibiotic injection. And like, before I got home from that vet, she was alert. She was sitting up. She was standing up. And I'm like, oh my God. Okay, so we're going to the right way. She hadn't puked overnight anymore. She even ate today. Like, we are back in the normal. And it really showed me two things. For one, it showed me how grateful I am. And I mean, how deeply, deeply grateful I am that I have built a life where I can drop 1K, however much is needed, plus the time that is needed to take care of my animals in need without a blink. Like, I've definitely not always been in this position, and I have never had pets when I didn't have the financial means. I think I may have some opinions about that, about people who get pets when they don't have the financial means. But that becomes like a trippy and tricky moral conversation, which I'm not dying on any hill. But I am just so fucking grateful that I could pause my whole life, drive, plus be with her there without having to fucking ask anyone. I'm not calling anyone in. I'm not letting anyone know. I'm not having to ask for fucking permission. This is the absolute direct reward of being a business owner, and that's a hill I will fucking die on. And by the way, it makes me I feel like there's this cautious edge where it's easy to glorify entrepreneurship, but it's definitely not for everyone, right? So yes, the rewards are amazing. Can you hold the fucking tension and the risk though? Not for everyone. You have it or you don't. That's fine. But the second part that, it reminded me of, so this morning I still slept in the living room with all the dogs. By the way, all the dogs loved it. All the dogs were like, this is the best. Yes, stay in the living room. What a little party. Can we do this more often? Everyone really enjoyed it. And this morning, when I had finally slept, I think I slept at least like 6 and 7 hours. And when you've had 2 nights of, I don't know, 2-3 hours sleep, like the 6-7 hours then feel like a luxury. They feel cool. I'm in it to win it. Let's go, baby. And it it shined, shone, the past tense of shine, this whole new light on my morning farm chores. Because like I'm gonna keep it really fucking honest. I'm very aware of how glorious my life is as a business owner, having a farm, having all these animals, and I still fall for that kind of, oh, it's kind of getting boring. Like the day-to-day chores kind of get a little bit boring, right? And that's fine. But the day after the vet emergency with the dog, and now that the dog was fine, I like stepped out of the mudroom, and it was like the dew was still on the floor, on the grass, and the sun was starting to come through, and I could feel it, but it still feels and smells fresh. And I'm so grateful that I get to do these very, very super, super, super boring tasks. Like, yes, let's go, let's do these boring tasks, because I get to do these boring tasks because it means that there's no more emergency. So I did them with full like presence. I was romanticizing every little sunlight coming through the little leaves. My horse had just rolled in some poopies and it was still on her face, and I'm like, oh sweet poopy party girl, I see you've been enjoying smelling her and therefore smelling the poop as well. It felt so good. And I think with that stressful situation from yesterday, and well, or the last few days, it really allowed me to land deeper in a sense of gratitude. It really, really did. And I'm sharing this specifically right now here, so I'm also anchoring that as a deeper memory, and hopefully a reminder that whenever I get bored again, or whenever I'm like, I still have to do feeding the chickens, I still have to do the horses, that I remind myself that those boring tasks can only exist and be boring because there's no emergency. And I know if I say I will never take them for granted, I will never be bored again, that's probably a lie, because that's the human experience, right? Where we forget how good things are, or how we have it, or what we build. And that's all fine. And I'm anchoring it right now here on the podcast, on this episode. So I'm reminded. So it's like deeper in my frontal cortex, whichever fucking cortex on the brain, to remind me how good it is that I'm able to do these things. And I started a few weeks ago, I started a day one of romanticizing the shit out of my life. And I ended up making so many videos, and I stopped uploading them at day 4 or something, because I had so many, and I don't know. And then I started just making my normal, sales videos and my coaching videos, and they kind of got lost. So I will actually have to bring those back, because I have so many. And life is so easy to romanticize if you build it yourself. Like, hands fucking down, hands on. Um, well, and as I am right now navigating my own growth, because my current, I'm building and scaling 200K months. I'm not there yet. It's inevitable. I am recording this episode on July 2020, July 22nd of 2026. So in a few months, hear me roar, or perhaps in a few years, I'll be at those 100K months, and I'll link back to this episode, or you'll hear this back. You'll be like, oh yeah, I remember when she was right there. But it's so funny. And if you've been watching my social media, you've probably seen it come around, how my mind is constantly trying to pull me back. It's constantly trying to pull me back to the familiar, and truly doing all sorts of gymnastics to take on everything as a reason and excuse to not execute. to not do the work, to not show up for work. Yesterday, with the dog situation, I came home. I was so tired. I've been in this sciatica pain, which is in my hip, and it's been going to my back. And on some days, I'm walking around literally like as if someone had beaten me with like a metal bar. And that's literally how it feels. Ask me how I know. Um, and in those moments, everything in my body is trying to convince me to chill the fuck out, turn off the brain, and just sit on Netflix. And it's not that I made a compromise, because I don't want to use that. That's a word that comes to mind, but that's not completely accurate. I will sit on the couch. I will even have Netflix in the background, but I'll have my laptop in front of me, and I will just simply do the boring tasks that don't require some kind of like alertness or creativity, admin, responding to invoices, emails, cleaning up the invoices. Like, there's so much boring stuff that can be done that don't require my, let's call it like full attention, that aren't necessarily moving the needle, as in like, look, if I keep doing this, then look at me, my growth will explode. But if I do these boring, and if I do these uneventful kind of robotic tasks in times like this, then I'm creating up space for times and moments where I do need my creativity without it lingering in my back. And I swear to God, a year ago, probably definitely several years ago, I would just be like, fuck all of it. I'm chilling the fuck out on everything. I'm hanging out. I deserve it. I'm in pain. I can't do anything. Then I just do something brain numb. Probably listen to some political podcast or some shit. It's probably the worst. It's like fucking brain poison. And I've been for the last year, I've been killing it. But the last few months, I'm really fucking in the game. And I'm starting to catch when that moment shows up of like that negotiation of trying to tell me super smoothly why I shouldn't be moving forward. I catch it so fast right now. And I'm not arguing with it, by the way. I think that a lot of people make the mistake that they are wanting to like outfight it, and you create this inner conflict because you're now fighting against your survival mechanism, because that's what it is. It's your survival mechanism that is trying to keep you away from the unfamiliar, which is your new level. And there is no way to familiar yourself into a unfamiliar level. Boy, have I tried. I'm a real ass. I have tried to kind of like slide, prepare myself into new levels, keep walking around the edges, kind of collecting information as a substitute for taking the action. Biggest time waste. So not doing that anymore. But now really catching it, not fighting it, not arguing with it. Usually taking a plot twist, usually taking a expose or some version of some of my methods from Command, from my signature program Command, applying it and just going as fast as some kind of tornado fire. I'm so excited. And I've noticed that it's now starting to be excited because I get to practice these things. And I know I've said this in the past, and maybe there's levels to this. I've said it in the past that I get to practice, which is true. But now I actually feel like deep excitement about this practice, instead of trying to convince myself rationally or mentally that I'm just practicing this right now. So it's so good. And I can't wait what kind of challenges the 100K month presents itself with. I can't wait to figure that out. And the 100K, that like the money even becomes irrelevant, because I'm so obsessed right now with trying to figure out how to keep showing up against my own survival mechanism. And by the way, this is absolutely not flawless because my biggest pitfall right now is still my workout routine and my meal plan, my food intake, definitely, which still is taking a toll of me because I'm in a lot of pain. So I definitely have some cleaning up there to do. Whew, one of the dogs farted. Ooh, little farty machine. So I definitely still have some cleaning up there to do. And I'm talking about this with my personal trainer because that part is definitely getting frustrated of me. But in due time, the business aspect, the holding the chaos of the farm while growing two of my businesses. Oh, it feels like I literally feel like Superwoman right now. I'm so fucking excited. I am so excited of learning to take on even more responsibility, to learn where my mind, my survival mechanism, still's trying to like nibble at me to make me chill out. Because when I chill out too fucking long and I chill out so hard, then all of a sudden there comes an emergency, and urgency. And now I have to fucking go, 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 go. And when I'm in go, 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 go mode, I have zero inner conflict, right? That's a survival mechanism. So how do I keep showing up when it's quote unquote calm? Because that's how you grow businesses. So that's my chapter for now, man. I think that's all I have to share, actually. I had a temporary audit plot twist that sold out in 3 days. So that one is gone. I might bring it back at a new rate. Obviously, my signature program Command is there, and I'm really, really going to be talking everyone's ear off about my private coaching that's coming up because it's been time. Yeah, I'm so ready. My life has the space for it, so I'm so excited to fill up that space to work with fellow actually baller women who excel at succeeding when survival is going on, when you're in stress and tension, but then create a ceiling every single time. And that's why you're stuck in your income. I fucking got you. Anyway, meet me on the Spotify and the Apple podcast, Rich and Hydrated, on the Instagram, Bara Queen Bee, on the TikTok, Money Witch 88, Facebook, Bara Queen Bee, everywhere.